Jack Thunder and the Fragments of Anima, Book 7, Null. Chapter 1, The Beginning of the End. No one should have been up at this hour. The sun hadn't risen yet on Tempest Island. The entire continent was bathed in deep, soft blue, only the spring lightning providing any source of light. But inside one of the many huts in the Storm Gremlin village, one creature was busy at work, a small candle flickering in his window. Jack Thunder stared at the page with dreary eyes. Despite all his adventuring, he hadn't had a good night's sleep in such a long time. His mind was too busy racing with thoughts about the task at hand, about what he'd have to do next. It plagued his mind constantly, only growing worse as the weeks flew by. After he and his friends met Saturn and found Excalibur, the fragment of light, San scried the map using Stormbringer for any sign of the heart. The Storm Gremlin remembered what the Tengu had told him. World's End, around the end of April. That was where and when the Heart of Darkness would return. Jack Thunder peered over to the calendar on the wall. April 29th. His birthday was tomorrow. He should have been excited, but instead, his thoughts were consumed with only dread. The Heart of Darkness would return any day now. That's why he was sitting here, going over the Heaven's Transformation spell again and again, memorizing every single word of the incantation, repeatedly peering over his shoulder to check on the fragments, which were now sitting in a pile in his closet. Their soft auras shone all colors of the rainbow. He winced as an unexpected beam of light shone into his eye. Turning his gaze towards the window, he noticed the sun peering over the horizon, sending trickles of yellow over the indigo of dusk. Jack Thunder sighed and rubbed his eyes. He suppressed a yawn. This wasn't healthy. How was he supposed to save the world like this? How could he expect to get anywhere on so little sleep? A sudden chirp drew his attention to his bed. Razor sat up, giving the Storm Gremlin a concerned stare. "Razor, what do you think? You really think I can do this?" Razor's reply came as a yawn and a stretch. The Weather Wyvern flexed his claws as he reached in Jack Thunder's direction on the bed. The Storm Gremlin visibly deflated. Guess he doesn't know either. He turned back to the book. Sighing once more, he snapped it shut. He didn't know why he was doing this. He'd already memorized the spell from top to bottom. He could recite it in his sleep if he had to. All this was doing was working up his nerves even more. "Hey, Jack, is there something wrong? You haven't said anything." Jack Thunder's gaze snapped up from his plate. Saturn's concerned face met his eyes. What were we talking about?" "I was asking about what you thought about Razor's Quest 6, Saturn replied. "I saw that poster in your room, so I thought you could tell me if it's any good." Jack Thunder glanced around. "Yeah, it's fine. Not as good as the others, though." "Jack? You seem really out of it today. What's going on?" Buckthorn's voice met Jack Thunder's ear. "Well, Come now. Is that any way for a true hero to behave?" "Wait, what now?" "You've already come all this way. They're counting on you. What would happen if they knew you were chickening out?" The voices in Jack Thunder's head had never been this clear or this loud before. It sent a shiver down his spine. Coward. Coming this close to the end and already giving up. "I'm not giving up. Why don't you just leave me alone?" "Maybe not now, but time will tell. You'll regret this." And with that, the voice vanished. Once again, the six heroes' conversation filled the air. What was that? Jack Thunder reeled from the shock. Then he remembered. The Heart of Darkness was on their trail. It must have been trying to get into his head just then. Jack Thunder scoffed, his fear turning to scorn. If that demon thought it could get him to turn back, it had another thing coming. He probably knew more about Wendigos than any of his friends. As long as he kept his head about him, he would be fine. He could protect them. Jack Thunder leaned back in his chair. But if you ask me, Razor's Quest 3 is really the best out of all of them. Wow, Tempest Island is a lot bigger up close. For all his travels, Saturn had never seen any of Altaris's floating islands up close before. Granted, reaching Tempest Island was nigh impossible without the power of flight, something Saturn had lost a long time ago. Still, he wished he'd seen it sooner. He remembered Jack telling him about how he'd found Stormbringer deep in the caverns of Mount Tempest. The mountain was sitting right in front of him, positively sparkling with air crystals. Turning back, Saturn could see the Storm Gremlin village not far behind. To think that Jack grew up so close to a treasure trove like this. Saturn's gaze continued upwards. Somewhere towards the peak, he could see an enormous bird making circles in the air. A shiny black bird with a reddened, human-like face not unlike his own. "Mr. San!" At the mention of his name, San halted his patrol. He spiraled his way down, touching the ground near the mountain's foothills. The Tengu approached, giving Saturn a sideways smile. "Come here to see if there's anything you can find?" San joked. Saturn chuckled. "Yeah, not really. Kinda just exploring the island." "Are you sure? I saw your face when Jack told you where he found Stormbringer." Saturn scratched the back of his head. "San got him there. I guess so. I've never seen Mount Tempest up close before. Kinda hard to get here when your wings broke." He pointed to his mangled left wing. San nodded. He remembered back to when he came for Stormbringer. It had been hard enough to get to Tempest Island as an air elemental with wings. He couldn't imagine Saturn trying to get to the island all by himself, even if his wings still worked. The Valkyrie would have been blown right out of the sky. "Mr. San, there you are. I've been looking all over for you." San's head snapped to his right. Terry Paradise floated in the air on a surfing cloud. The normally laid-back Storm Gremlin's face glistened with nervous sweat. He panted as he tried to get his words out. "What is it? What's wrong?" San asked. He got the feeling he already knew the answer. "See there?" he finally managed to choke out. Terry moved out of San's line of sight. Just off the coast of the island, a carpet of thick, ashen clouds obscured the land below. Through a few holes in the cloud cover, San could see remnants of a barren, rocky wasteland, veins of magma flowing through its cracks. Somewhere in the distance, the Tengu could make out a thick, black storm beginning to swirl around a pair of volcanoes. It shimmered with a colorful yet ominous aura. San's head dropped, his expression solemn. He knew this day would come.